In our most recent Brexit white paper, which is this white paper entitled What's Next, we look at a new location and a new venue for the European Medicines Agency. And the city that came out top in that was Dublin with 30% of the vote. I'm joined here in Acorn Regulatory by one of my colleagues, John McIntyre from our Pharmacovigilance and Clinical Trials team. John has written an article on our blog about Dublin and more specifically, a SWOT analysis of Dublin and its capacity to host an agency with 885 full-time staff. So John, firstly, briefly to kick off, Dublin as a viable location, yes or no?
I think so, Brian. I mean, we've seen from our survey, obviously bids from the larger players, from the likes of Germany, from Ireland itself, Sweden and Denmark, but also from some of the smaller countries. It's a smaller agency we have here in Ireland, but at the same time, I mean, looking at the strengths of the application, there are a number of key selling points that Ireland would have relative to some of the other member states.
So one of the key selling points that we've been seeing in the media, particularly in Ireland, is the proximity to London, the similar language, we're an English language speaking country, and they're classing it almost like a hop, skip and a jump. That aside, what weaknesses does Dublin face in hosting an agency of this size?
Yeah, so on the weaknesses, I mean, whilst there is, quite a significant number of strengths, weaknesses, I mean, things that would pop to mind would be the likes of the ongoing housing crisis really in Dublin that we're seeing at the moment. There's very high hotel occupancy in the capital as well. Poor infrastructure linking the airport itself to Dublin. And also from our own experience, we know that it's quite hard to source regulatory and pharmacovigilance personnel here in Ireland.
In terms of the opportunities then, as part of your SWOT analysis, what did you come up with as the opportunities for Ireland and Dublin by hosting the EMA?
Sure. So obviously here in Ireland, we've got a very strong life science presence. We've got the IDA. I think in terms of opportunities, it will be very positive for the economy in Dublin, the impact on the city itself. I also think it's going to improve our attractiveness as a place to go for life science companies even further.
Okay, and actually that's one of the things in the whole Brexit negotiations and the hoo-ha we've had, where the Japanese government issued a letter to the British government saying that the likelihood of Japanese companies headquartering themselves beside the EMA would shift from London to wherever the EMA went. Finally on this, in terms of the threats, what have you identified? Yeah,
so threats, I suppose in the short term, one of the key threats really is who's going to pick up the tab for the break of the lease on Churchill Place in Canary Wharf. I mean, it could be very expensive, and we haven't really seen much discussion as to how that's going to be worked out, but I mean, potentially the host country will have to pick up the tab there. Okay, John, thank you very much. So there's more details about this on our website. Of course, the white paper is available, and also John's article about the SWOT analysis of Dublin as a likely venue for the European Medicines Agency.